How much time do we have?
How much time do you have? You have some time. How much we cannot tell. But we come with an urgent message. This is not a problem that can simply be avoided or denied. From our perspective, it is the most important challenge facing humanity. It is of the greatest concern, the first priority. You are late in your preparation. This was caused by many factors beyond our control. But there is time, if you can respond. The outcome is uncertain, and yet there is still hope for your success.
How can we focus on this intervention given the immensity of other global problems which are occurring right now?
First of all, we feel that there are no other problems in the world that are as important as this. From our perspective, whatever you can resolve on your own will have little meaning in the future. If your freedom is lost, what could you hope to gain? What could you hope to achieve or secure if you are not free in the greater community? All of your accomplishments would be given to your new governors. All of your wealth would be bestowed upon them. And though your visitors are not cruel, they are completely committed to their agenda. You are valued only insofar as you can be useful to their cause. It is for this reason that we do not feel that there are any other problems facing humanity as important as this.
Who is likely to respond to the situation?
Regarding who can respond, there are many people in the world today who have an inherent knowledge of the greater community and who are sensitive to it. There are many others who have been taken by the visitors already, but who have not yielded to them, or to their persuasion. And there are many others who are concerned about the future of humanity, and who are alerted to the dangers that humanity faces, even within your own world. People in all or any of these three categories may be amongst the first to respond to the greater community reality, and to the preparation for the greater community. They may come from any walk of life, from any nation, from any religious background, or from any economic group. They are literally all over the world. It is upon them, and upon their response, that the great spiritual powers that protect and oversee human welfare are depending.
You mentioned that individuals are being taken all over the world. How can people protect themselves or others from being abducted?
The more you can become strong with knowledge, and aware of the visitor's presence, the less you become a desirable subject for their study and manipulation. The more you use your encounters with them to gain insight into them, the more of a hazard you become. As we have said, they seek the path of least resistance. They want individuals who are compliant and yielding. They want those who cause them few problems and little concern. Yet as you become strong with knowledge, you will be beyond their control, because now they cannot capture your mind or your heart. And with time, you will have the power of perception, to see into their minds, which they do not wish. You then become a danger to them, a challenge to them, and they will avoid you if they can. The visitors do not seek to be revealed. They do not wish for conflict. They are overly confident that they can achieve their goals without serious resistance from the human family. But once such resistance is mounted, once the power of knowledge awakens in the individual, then the visitors are facing a much more formidable obstacle. Their intervention here becomes thwarted, and more difficult to achieve. And their persuasion of those in power becomes more difficult to accomplish. Therefore, it is the individual's response and commitment to the truth that are essential here. Become aware of the visitor's presence. Do not yield to the persuasion that their presence here is of a spiritual nature, or that it holds great benefit or salvation for humanity. Resist the persuasion. Regain your own inner authority, the great gift that the Creator has given to you. Become a force to be reckoned with regarding any who would trespass against or deny your fundamental rights. This is spiritual power being expressed. It is the will of the Creator that humanity should emerge into the greater community united within itself, and free from foreign intervention and domination. It is the Creator's will that you should prepare for a future that will be unlike your past. We are here in service to the Creator, and thus our presence and our words serve this purpose.
If the visitors encounter resistance in humanity, or in certain individuals, will they come in greater numbers, or will they leave?
Their numbers are not great. Should they encounter considerable resistance, they would have to fall back and make new plans. They are wholly confident that their mission can be fulfilled without serious obstacles. Yet should serious obstacles arise, then their intervention and persuasion would be thwarted, and they would have to find other ways of gaining contact with humanity. We trust that the human family can generate enough resistance and enough consensus in order to offset these influences. It is upon this that we are basing our hope and efforts.
What are the most important questions that we must ask of ourselves and others with respect to this problem of alien infiltration?
Perhaps the most critical questions to ask yourself are we humans alone within the universe, or in our own world? Are we being visited at this time? Is this visitation beneficial to us? Do we need to prepare? These are very fundamental questions, but they must be asked. There are many questions, however, that cannot be answered, for you do not know enough about life in the greater community, and you are not yet confident that you have the ability to counteract these influences. There are many things lacking in human education, which is primarily focused upon the past. Humanity is emerging from a long state of relative isolation. Its education, its values and its institutions were all established within this state of isolation. Yet your isolation now is over, forever. It was always known that this would happen. It was inevitable that this would be the case. Therefore, your education and your values are entering into a new context, to which they must adapt. And the adaptation must happen quickly, because of the nature of the intervention in the world today. There will be many questions that you cannot answer. You will have to live with them. Your education about the greater community is only at the very beginning. You must approach it with great sobriety and care. You must counteract your own tendencies to try and make the situation pleasant or reassuring. You must develop an objectivity about life, and you must look beyond your own personal sphere of interests, in order to put yourself in a position to respond to the greater forces and events that are shaping your world and your future.
What if enough people cannot respond?
We are confident that enough people can respond and begin their greater education about life in the greater community, in order to give promise and hope to the human family. If this cannot be achieved, then those who value their freedom, and who have this education, will have to retreat. They will have to keep knowledge alive in the world as the world falls under complete control. This is a very grave alternative, and yet it has occurred in other worlds. The journey back to freedom from such a position is quite difficult. We hope that this will not be your fate, and that is why we are here giving you this information. As we have said, there are enough people in the world who can respond to offset the intentions of the visitors, and to thwart their influence on human affairs and human values.
Because the visitors are so skilled in projecting thoughts and influencing people's mental environment, how do we ensure ourselves that what we are seeing is real?
The only basis for wise perception is the cultivation of knowledge. If you believe only what you see, then you will believe only what is shown to you. There are many, we are told, that have this perspective. Yet we have learned that the wise everywhere must gain a greater vision and a greater discernment. It is true that your visitors can project images of your saints and of your religious figures. Though this is not practiced often, it certainly can be used in order to evoke commitment and dedication amongst those who are already given to such beliefs. Here your spirituality becomes an area of vulnerability, where wisdom must be used. Yet the Creator has given you knowledge as a foundation for true discernment. You can know what you are seeing, if you ask yourself if it is real. Yet to do this, you must have this foundation, and that is why the teaching in the way of knowledge is so fundamental to learning greater community spirituality. Without this, people will believe what they want to believe, and they will rely upon what they see, and what they are shown. And their potential for freedom will have been lost already, for it was never allowed to flourish in the first place.